Wow, this is crazy. I mean, if you've seen my video that I released yesterday about Campi Flegrei, I think it was yesterday or the day before yesterday, I said I think we will see more and we will see bigger earthquakes, and this is happening right now. And it's like, it's rumbling. I don't know, guys. It's scary, I have to say, because it just doesn't stop this Brady seism activity that we're seeing in Campi Flegrei, that increased activity that has already made headlines in the fall last year with a 4.0 earthquake, and then 4.4 in May, the biggest one in 40 years, and then another 4 point something, I think 4.2 just recently. And now there is a swarm that has been going on for several days, but this morning Italian time, it kept coming and it kept coming, and the Italian press can't even keep up reporting all these earthquakes. And that's why you have me, right? Because I'm looking at the real-time data and I'm pushing it out right away. I have 2 more other videos in the pipes that I wanted to send out to you guys, but I thought, hey, this is more pressing. I have to release this first. I just released one about Russia. That is absolutely insane what's going on there. There was a massive 7.0 earthquake that triggered a volcanic eruption of a massive volcano, and that eruption came with lightning and amazing. Check out that video, it's in the end screen, because now we need to talk about Campi Flegrei. The local newspapers, they say, yeah, new earthquake today, magnitude 2.3, almost at 3 o'clock in the afternoon on Saturday, August 17th, local time in Italy. And then another shock. You can see the image here that shows the tremors. So they say 2 tremors, one this morning shortly after 9 a.m. and the other shortly before 3 p.m. on August 17th, but it keeps coming. It's in the area of the Campi Flegrei supervolcano, most around Pozzuoli, around a caldera that's called Solfatara, where we see these hot steam fumaroles coming out. And all the earthquakes that we had in the last month are centered around this Solfatara that is already showing us the hot steam that is coming out of the ground. So there's more news. Campi Flegrei earthquake 1.5, that was Friday on the 16th, but it's going into Sunday the 18th. And what they're also saying, I mean, I'm only showing you the ones magnitude 1 and higher, but there were a lot of low magnitude tremors. So it is a earthquake swarm, and they were distinctly felt at Campi Flegrei in the area of this volcanic caldera, and that is the subject of this increased Brady seismic activity that comes with these massive earthquake swarms and with a land rise that is still at 2 centimeters per month, and it doubled in April from 1 centimeter per month to 2 centimeters per month. And the 2.3 earthquake that was really felt in the afternoon on Saturday in the Pozzuoli area, that's the town that's highly affected by this. Citizens heard it. It was accompanied again by another roar. So these bigger earthquakes there in southern Italy, they come with a sound, and it sounds like a missile's coming in. It's like zzz, boom. I don't know how to describe it else. So if you're near the epicenter there, people definitely hear it. The 2.3 was at a depth of 2.8 kilometers, so it was very, very shallow. And guys, do not forget, we're in an area that this is the most highly densely populated volcano in the world, probably, because people are living on top of these calderas, because they're not like a crater like Vesuvius where you see, wow, this is a volcano. Oh, it looks like rolling hills if you're there. So people have built a lot of illegal buildings there. So the officials are saying, especially one minister says, it's criminal that they were allowed to build there because now they have the mess, right? And they're even thinking about paying people to leave there because of that problem that they have there. And if you look at the bulletin that has been released by the INGV, the Italian Institute of Geophysics and Volcanology, we had 668 earthquakes at Campi Flegrei in July. That's a lot. And also what they're saying is, and this doesn't even include what we're seeing right now, there was, in the first week of August, there was 40 earthquakes in 1 week, and the previous week had 70 earthquakes. And maybe this week will even top these weeks, because it seems like it is a lot. And I will show you very, very shortly what we're dealing with here. Just let's talk about the Brady seism for a second, what they have released in the latest bulletin. I just mentioned 2 centimeters per month, but you have to know, since January this year, January 2024, so basically in the last 7 months, guys, the ground has risen by 13 centimeters. And you have to know that in 2005, this is when this current Brady seismic activity began. They call it even a Brady seismic crisis. This is when the uplift of Campi Flegrei has began. And the ground since then has risen by 131 centimeters. That is a meter and 30 centimeters. So if you're walking and you make the longest step you can make, stretch out your legs. This is how much the ground has risen. And that's why that little port in Pozzuoli is running dry. I said it yesterday, where usually it was covered with water. Now you see grass growing at the edges of the quay there, because the water, even if it's high tide, the water can't get there anymore. And the fishing boats, the little paddle boats, they lie on the ground. And remember, if you're watching my channel in Iceland since November 10th, that incident with the earthquakes and volcanic eruption, the land was subsiding there. So they said, in light of all the trouble that Grindavik had, the destruction and the danger, the port has benefited from that because it was getting deeper, and that's one of their main fishing ports. But you know, the town cracks open. I mean, check out these videos. We're just waiting any minute for the next eruption there, and that could completely destroy the town and critical infrastructure, and even the famous tourist attraction, the Blue Lagoon. But let's get back to Campi Flegrei. So here is the list of the recent earthquakes, and there you go. In the morning of Sunday, the 18th, 1.2 Phlegraean fields, depth only 1 kilometer. Then we had already 5:30 in the morning, 1.1, 4:50 in the morning, 1.2, 4:01 in the morning, 1.0, 4 o'clock, 1.6, 3:54, 1.0, 3:36, 1.0, 3:36, 1.5, 3:31, 1.1, 3:23, 1.0, and then 2:30, 1.2, and at 2:29, a higher one, 2.8. So the press is not even reporting about that one. And then 2:23, 1.1, 2:16, 2.1, another 2. And then 2:15, 1.2, 2:08, 1.0, 1:59, 1.4, 1:59, 1.6, 1:54, 1.2, 1:40, 1.1, 1:35, 1.6, and midnight, a half an hour after midnight, 1.1. But if you look at the 17th, you see there is another 1.0, 2.6, 1.0, 1.1, 2.0, several in the 2. So this isn't a swarm like the last swarms where we had like the 1s and the 1.5 and then woof, 4 point something, or woof, 3 point something. This is more like stretched out over a long period of time, but they keep coming in the higher ranges, and they produce several in the 2 range. I mean, now this list is only going back to the afternoon of the 17th, but even if I go further back, and don't forget, there's even more earthquakes. I'm only showing you the ones that are above 1. And this is crazy. Here I show you the next page that goes back to August 17th. It continues like almost every 10 minutes or even in a shorter period of time. 1.0, 1.1, 1.3, 2.3. That's the 17th. That's what the press was reporting. But since then we had, I think, three more in the 2 range, above the 2 range with a 2.8. So they keep coming and they keep getting bigger. But even if we go back to August 16th, you see it has been rumbling, and then it has been rumbling with several August 15th, August 14th. So it's been going on for days, and it hasn't done something like this in the last few months. It's always been like one day clustered, but that it's consistent with that many stronger earthquakes. That is something, guys, I don't know. I'm more and more worried about Campi Flegrei. I don't know how you feel, guys. I mean, we've discussed it in my other videos. If you want to learn more about all the evacuation and the dangers, check out my Italy playlist with the Campi Flegrei stuff. But you know, they were trying to prepare for evacuations for earthquakes. But you know, they did like a rehearsal, but only 30 people showed up in Pozzuoli out of 80,000 that were supposed to take part. And in the critical area, we have up to 500,000 people, and then more than 3 million people in the greater Naples area, should there be a volcanic eruptions. And the crazy thing is, guys, that even the officials are saying, well, the problem is if only 3,000 to 4,000 people start to take their cars and will try to leave, that will clog everything. That's already going a cluster F, how you say this in North America. So that's why one official, the minister Musumeci, has even said, you know, it's not very likely that an emergency evacuation will be very successful. And imagine this, I mean, they have planned everything from like, oh yeah, we have 500 bus drivers that are ready, and then the people from the critical areas should go to buses. Do you think if there is a volcanic eruptions and the skies turn red and everyone there knows this is a potential super volcanic eruption, do you think the bus drivers will sit there and like, okay, let's wait, we have 3 more seats, let's wait till everything's full and then we go? Or do you think they will take the buses and run? You know what? I think it's human. I think they will run. But since the roads there are so narrow, so many old buildings that will probably collapse onto the roads with these old stone buildings, it's going to be a disaster. That's why scientists have warned you need to come up with new plans. You need to do something else. And even think about getting people out through the water. But the problem is, this volcano stretches into the Gulf of Naples, into the Gulf of Pozzuoli, and it could erupt in the water as well. And we see earthquake epicenters in the water. So if it erupts in the water, it comes with a tsunami that can get up to 100 feet, 30 meters high. So if you're in the Naples or the coastal areas and that tsunami comes, we've seen it in Japan. You can't evacuate over the water. The boats, that'll all be gone. And then there, I don't even want to describe it because it's like absolute, it's like, you see the pictures behind me that I have created with AI. It's going to be doomsday scenario, and it breaks my heart to even think about this because I deeply, deeply love Italy. I love the people in Italy. I love the country. I've been there so many times. And to even think about that something could this happen, it's just crazy. But you know, we can't close our eyes from reality because it is rattling and rumbling all over the world. We've seen it in Japan, 7 point something. We've just seen it in Russia, and you know, that has even triggered a volcano because it is located on the Pacific Ring of Fire, where there's volcano after volcano. And I have to say, I'm also sitting on the Ring of Fire on the west coast right? We have volcano after volcano. So imagine you have the big one there that will probably produce a 9 point something earthquake. And then you have like a zip line, all these volcanoes going off, plus tsunamis. Well, isn't this great, guys? So we will have to see what's going on with Campi Flegrei, whether this earthquake swarm will continue and whether these earthquakes will even get higher and higher and higher. And I have just prepared a video. It's about California, but in this video, I will explain to you what this means if we see several earthquakes in certain ranges. So wait for this video because we can learn something from that we can maybe transport to the other areas that we're looking at. But this is not good. That's what I take from this, and it's ongoing as we speak. So it's morning in Italy right now, and through the whole night and morning, the poor residents there have been probably woken up and shaken by this, and it's really scary, especially since we're seeing so many large ones. I mean, the 2.8 that happened at 2:29 a.m. It was just like 2/16 we have seen the 2.1. So, and in between, probably way more below 1. So it's constantly rattling there. And of course, it worries people. Is this a sign that magma's on the move? Is magma grinding its way to the surface? Is that the reason why it's rumbling? Or is it other magmatic fluids, hot gases, hot steam? But it is something. It is something, and I am worried. I'm open. Let me know, guys, what do you think? Are you worried as well? My heart goes out to the Italian people, that is for sure. So guys, check out the videos here in the end screen about what's happening in Russia. That is crazy. That volcano did not only erupt strong, it produced lightning and everything. So check it out. It's here in the end screen. And let's stay tuned. What's going on in Campi Flegrei? I will keep you updated. What can I say, guys? As always, I see you soon. Stay safe. Bye-bye.